Let's get this started here, guys. All right, so I've got music playing in the background. I'll turn it down just a little bit, but let's talk about FCs here. So I'm gonna go with what I've used that were good FCs and what were bad FCs. And I'm just going to be playing honest with you guys. I haven't had like issues with the FCs that I'm going to talk about, and I've had mad issues with some of the FCs that we're going to talk about also. So let's get into it. So I'm going to talk about, let's go with I'm going to go by the worst FC to the best FC. So I know there are some people that love this FC, but I really did not like it. It's this one. It is HGL RC all-in-one. I bought this with 4 of them on a sale they had going on, and what I did was I had this in one quad. I was running 4S on it. It was running okay, but I had mad issues with the feed of the VTX. Like every time I would hit power on the freaking motors, I would get streamlines all over my VTX. All over, not the VTX, but inside my actual view. I put caps on. I tried everything possible to try to get this down, and still had issues. I even went on their site and still had issues, even on their Facebook talking to them. So I went through four of these. Four went bad. So that's what kind of made me a little depressed. So this was probably the worst FC I've tried. Great idea, great ingenuity, just not all there. It's like an iPhone. They drop the iPhone out for everybody to test, and when there's problems, that's when the newer iPhone comes out. You guys need to stop doing this kind of stuff. You need to make it be fail-proof. Also, I'm going to go into, and that's just my experience. I know lots of you guys may have had better experience other ways, or this might have been just 4 bad batches, but I highly doubt 4 would go out of the HGL RC. All right, so now let's talk about the next FC. So I will say that, you know, I'm really kind of sad with what the Fortini F4 was. It was, for durability, not that great. I think I bought 3 of them, and every time I plugged it in, it would either fry or it would do some weird, like it would start blinking, and then slowly blinking off. And then when I took one of these boards to the United Cup out in Phoenix, I plugged one in and it did the blinking, and then started arming and doing something really weird. And I've had all issues with 4 of these also. And I don't know what it is. It's weird. These fly great for the first 8 to 10 packs. Wonderful. These 14s fly wonderful for that time. And then they just kind of burn out. I was really surprised on, you know, what it was doing. I'm probably going to diagnose these here soon and see what keeps going out on these. But this is the Furious F14. I had no luck with it. All right, so now we're going to start getting into a little bit of an older school, because those were the FCs that did not work for me at all, and I was really depressed with it. So I've been flying for about 4 years, and when I first started, I started using this, the CC3D. And these have actually done pretty great for me for a beginner right at the beginning of this whole era of FPV for me. I use these for probably for the first year I used like 5 of these, and these worked great. So I'm not going to dog on these. This is just really old school. And you know what, guys? If you ever want to do other things, you can put this in a wing or an RC car, or even, I believe, a collective pitch helicopter. You can use the same stuff. They actually have firmware for it, but don't quote me on it. I was looking on the Open Pilot or the Libre Pilot now, and they still have some of the same stuff. But when I was on Open Pilot, they had stuff that you can attach this brain to an RC car or a gliding airplane or something like that. But this one, I would say, is, you know, third, just because it's old. It works great. It's just really old tech. Now, I don't know if these guys are in business still. All the rumors and all the things that go down, I don't know. But Helios, when they first came out, first update, all this was a great FC. Really was starting to improve the market, and I was super surprised. Some of the technical things I didn't like are like the pads. So when you do the negative pads on the first version, they ripped off so easy. This one right here, it was ripped off, so I had to find another negative spot to put it in. It's the design was great. It flew awesome, but I don't even know if this FC is actually still good, which I have to do a test on. I'm pretty sure this one's still good. It just has a bad negative pad, but this is not a bad FC. It's just I wish the tech was still advancing for this, but this is kind of out the window. But now we'll kind of start getting into what most people get into for quads. But we have one more. It's a fly color with a lot of hair on it, guys. This fly color, like FC, probably a really, really, really great FC when I flew it. It did great. The biggest problem I had with these fly color stacks was running 4S with like a 2506 motor. I kept popping. I bought 2 stacks and popped both ESCs, but the FC still worked. And I have another video that I've actually hot wired this FC to run like a 4-inch, but we're not using their ESCs. And this thing is actually still a pretty good FC, but their ESC sucks. All right, there we go. Oh, some more old school. We'll go with the Spectrum. This thing is super old school. This is probably going to be going out of tech for beta flight. They're going to stop using firmware for it. But you'll still be able to use it, just they're not going to use any more updates. This is just getting too old. This was great in its time, in its prime. It was a great competitor with all the other FCs out there. But it just, this one's getting old. We'll get into the newer stuff now. Newer stuff, Pyroflip. I know they're coming out with something brand new here soon, I believe. This may be an older Pyroflip FC. I just grabbed a bunch of FCs that I had laying around that I used. But this is a not bad FC. This is actually a pretty decent FC. I highly suggest you guys getting one of these if you have not. This is a real fun flyer. It's got great characteristics on like an X or a stretch X. This is pretty good. But I also have to tell you guys, I did try the KISS setup. The V1 1.3 whatever. It's not the newest one. It was the older one. Wow, amazing flight characteristics. It really feels great in the air. But I will say, it didn't feel. This is more for a freestyler. I wouldn't put a KISS on a track. I would probably see it more out, bando slaying or doing something more acrobatic. But it's still a great FC, probably one of the best. But I will tell you, out of all these FCs that I've messed with, the best FC that I personally have used has been Flight 1. I mean, they're always up to date with their stuff. They're getting it good. If you ever have questions, they're there to support you. And I mean, I'll tell you guys, on all my race quads, when I go to any kind of tournament or even when I go freestyle, all my stuff has Flight 1 on it. And I will tell you guys, it is worth the money to put a little bit more in your FC and or ESC. It's just the ability to really bash them and get your fun out of them, and the characteristics of setting up and flying, amazing. Always, guys. All my stuff is Flight 1. But that's kind of ESC, not ESCs, but FCs that I've flown over my 4 years of flying, and I finally found one FC that is perfect in every way on how I want to fly. And the big thing is, I've noticed, like, going out to some of these races is, the top pilots out there, the top 1 through 5, 1 through 8, you know what they're flying? They're flying that Flight 1. So, I mean, that's telling you guys something. But I appreciate you guys stopping by, kicking it with me over here on My Flight's Better Than Yours. If you guys can, bring in some more people on My Flight's Better Than Yours. Tell them to submit some videos. Anything RC, as long as it's RC, and hey, you know what? It doesn't have to be FPV. But hey, we love them FPV videos. all that acrobatic stuff, all those guys that are pushing that stuff out, that's amazing. Keep it up. But stay tuned for more stuff for Tech Talk Tuesdays. I appreciate you guys sitting with me and talking about all these FCs. If you guys have not, I really suggest you guys trying Flight 1. Put it in one of your quads and go give it a rip. I'm telling you, you are missing out. The ability to be streamlined to set up your stuff is perfect for beginners. And then when you switch that little mode to where you want to be like advanced, it's just like Beta Flight, boys. Get into it, and gals. You know, we all got much love in here for all that quadcopter stuff. So keep on flying, stay up, fly safe. It's Rimrock UAV and Foxhound out. Keep it up with my flight's better than yours, guys. See you later. End video. All right, guys. Thank you for sitting back and hanging out with us a little bit longer for the YouTube. I really appreciate you guys coming in, watching these YouTube videos and really, supporting me, supporting my addiction in this hobby of, drones and flight stuff. I tell you what, guys, to be in the air and to fly like a bird is amazing. If you haven't tried it, you need to spend some time and get in the air. It's the most freeing thing you can ever do. But thanks for tuning in, and if you guys have not, come join on to My Flight's Better Than Yours. It's on Facebook. And if you guys ever need to contact me with quad-related or 3D printed stuff, you can hit me up on my Rimrock UAV Facebook page. I'm always there. Just get in contact with me and say, hey, I saw one of your videos. I would like to talk to you, and I'll chat you up. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and please subscribe if you hadn't. Hit that like button. Watch me some more. See you guys later.